most glaring example of religious inequality is the so-called Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowments Act, 1959. So this is a Tamil Nadu act. And of course, there are different acts of a similar nature that have been enacted by state governments. And mind you, that includes BJP ones across India. So essentially, these acts give state governments the power to exercise control over the finances of over 4 lakh Hindu places of worship, while leaving out government control on mosques, churches, and gurdwaras. Now, prior to British rule, Hindu temples were administered and managed by local communities or rulers. Temple wealth was used to promote art, culture, schools, cow shelters, rest houses, dispensaries, local charities. But then the British decided to milk these fabulously wealthy temples through various acts and legislations. So in 1925, they introduced what was known as the Madras Religious and Charitable Endowments Act that brought all religious establishments under government control. But this law resulted in vocal opposition from Indian minorities. And so the act was then redrafted in order to exclude Muslim, Christian, and Parsi places of worship. And that same year, the Sikh Gurdwara Act was passed in order to bring the Sikh places of worship under a Sikh council. In effect, government control was only left in place on Hindu temples. Now, after independence, one would have imagined that the government would have found a way to ensure that Hindu temples were managed by the Hindu community. Instead, the Tamil Nadu government passed the Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowments Act in 1959, and under which the Hindu temples now came under a commissioner. This was followed by most South states passing similar legislation. So for example, in Tamil Nadu, about 44,000 temples are controlled by the government, the state government. Andhra Pradesh, I'm told that they are now planning to change the law, but as of today, Andhra Pradesh is not far behind because it controls about 33,000 temples. In fact, there are 15 Indian states that have acts that legalize this religious discrimination. The avowed intent of such legislation was to avoid mismanagement and misappropriation of assets by temple authorities. But then consider this. Recently, I think it was last year probably, the Madras High Court had to ask the state government to explain how 47,000 acres of temple land had gone missing from the records of the state. So management of temples by government is nothing short of institutionalized plunder. So taking up this temple issue, I would like to sort of put before you the fact that there are a couple of things that we definitely need to do in order to preserve the sanctity of secularism in India. Number one, the government must give up control of Hindu temples. It was Prime Minister Modi who once said that the government has no business to be in business. I would add that the government has no business to be in temples, mosques, churches, gurdwaras, synagogues, or fire temples. Government control of Hindu temples is frankly a festering wound on the skin of secularism. We ignore true secularism at our own peril because it is precisely such perceived hurt that encourages communalism. In a world characterized by flourishing extremist ideologies, I don't think we need any more. So my personal view is that this is a burning issue and it needs immediate addressing.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.